Welcome to the third video of the Joining Ewe Lamb decision support tool. My name is Mark Ferguson, CEO at NextGen Agri. Just a bit of a recap in case you haven't watched the other two videos, and I recommend you do that. The first video is an introduction into this tool and sort of describes how it was built. And then the second video covers the management focus area, which is about whether you should be mating ewe lambs or not, or whether it's profitable to do that in your scenario. But today we're going to talk on this strategic management area, which is if you've already made the decision to mate ewe lambs or join ewe lambs, then how do you do that to optimize the economics of that? What are the management things you can do to make sure you make that a success and make sure you make money out of that? This project has been a collaborative effort led by Murdoch University, Andrew Thompson there, John Young from the Farming Systems Analysis Service was a massive player. The model that underpins this model was developed by John and his son Michael, and then our team at NextGen Agri, which has largely been Ian Harris, who's built all the machine learning that sits behind the tool that you're seeing, and myself. And so yeah, a combination of effort, and all funded by MLA. So if we get into strategic management, and whether you go management focus or strategic management, the first thing you've got to set up is this area here, which is sort of your farm scenario, and we've already done that in the previous videos, but I'll show you again. So growing season length, just quickly, growing season length is how many months green. These little icons tell you what you're expecting there. So I'll rattle through this pretty quickly because we covered this in the previous video. But growing season length, the number of ewe lambs weaned from your maternal sheep, so total number weaned, not what you're down to, the total flock. When you put the rams in with your adult ewes, not the ewe lambs, the breed of sheep you're running, and as with described previously, which one you select here changes some of the options that you've got around the place. We might just run that as a maternal. Selected wool price, so that's total wool value divided by the number of bales you produce. The genetics of reproduction, if you've really been buying really high-end rams for reproduction, you'll scale that up. If you think they're pretty ho-hum, then you can scale that back a bit. Lamb price is what you estimate you're going to get for the lambs, obviously that fluctuates a bit, but part of this tool is, and we'll go through that in a minute, is you can kind of go back and forth on these things and test different scenarios. The price of supplements you're going to feed to your animals, and the megs, how good that is, the megajoules of energy per kilogram dry matter in your feed stuff, which obviously helps basically determines cents per kilogram, cents per megajoule. Okay, so once you get that structure set up to your farm scenario, and you can play around there with a few different scenarios, but get it set up to your farm scenario, then there's these options to toggle over here about the management of those ewe lambs if you're going to join them. First one is how many of them are you going to put to the ram? Is it the heaviest 50%? Are you only going to put 30% because you're just putting your toe in the water, or are you going to put the whole lot to the ram? You can have a bit of a play there, and you can sort of estimate what you think you are going to do. So you might be putting 65% to the ram. How old are you joining them? How old are they going to the ram? Are they going at the same time the mixed age ewes are going to the ram, so therefore the ewe lambs are 7 months? Are they a month later, and so therefore they're 8 months, or are they a couple of months later, are they 9 months? You might be even longer than that, and if so, you just go out to the longest. I guess they become sort of almost young hoggets then, they're not really ewe lambs anymore. But equally, I don't know, you might be trying to go younger than that, but generally you're either 7 or 8 months as normal, because you don't want to get too far outside your normal production system. Anyway, roll them at 8 months, and then live weight of ewe lambs at rams in, so you'll see the calculation there if you hover over it. The weight of non-pregnant ewe at a condition score of 3 is the mature weight. So So it's a standard reference weight. And then how heavy are they compared to the standard reference weight? So if your ewe lambs are 42 kilos and your ewes at condition score 3, fleece free, are 60 kilos, then that's a 70% of mature weight. So you get a little bit of a calculation to do there. So some of you feed them up really well, you're going to be 85-90% of mature weight, or that's probably a pretty excessive, or they might be just scraping through at 60%. So we'll set that about 75%. Then the next one is live weight change during joining. So over that joining period, the biology tells us, and Andrew Thompson's work tells us, that if they're gaining weight during pregnancy, during joining, that's a good thing, and that's likely to get a good outcome. So how much do you expect to grow them over that joining period? The next one is live weight change during pregnancy. So once the rams are out, how many kilograms of live weight do you expect them to put on over that until between preg scanning and lambing? And that's not including the weight of the fetus. And so are they going to lose a bit of weight, or are they going to put a heap of weight on? And so that just sort of almost basically determines how much weight you expect them to, or how heavy they're going to be at lambing. And then how heavy do you expect to get them as tutors? So in that subsequent joining, are you going to get them back up to 100% of mature weight, or are they going to be still light? One of the pitfalls of joining your lambs, if you don't do it well, is that they go to the ram as tutors lighter than they would have otherwise, or lighter than they could, and then that has a negative impact on that subsequent joining, and then that can take a lot of the value out of that ewe lamb joining. So that's something that is important as well. And then what's your decision around the dry ewe lamb? So are they, if the ones that don't get pregnant, are they retained and kept to mate next year, or are they sold off? And so these are all things that will impact the economics of your program. So once you've got all of that in there, you've got your scenarios in, you just click the analyze button and it'll spit out fairly quickly. So what just happened in clicking that button was that a neural network ran through hundreds of thousands, probably millions of potential scenarios, and grabbed the one that was most like the one that you had explained. And so what it says from that management scenario you put in, you're expecting to make $12,800 on the farm, and this is a farm with 1,000 ewe lambs weaned. So a bit of money there. It's expected from that management that you'd wean 78%. You're going to feed about 2 tons of supplement to do that. All of this stuff here is just describing what you put in as your scenario, and just to remind you. So what this area here is an indication of the management that would have been optimum, or is more optimum than to get a higher number than this. So what is a better scenario? So this is where you can really get into this tool and start playing with a few things to kind of get your head around how you might need to manage these things to make the most money. So easily flicking in and out of here. So we're back to strategic management. It said we needed to join more of them. It wanted us to grow them faster. We might button that off a little bit. It'll probably tell us we need to go up to 100% mature weight there, and then we can press analyze and have a look, and all of a sudden we're making a bit more money. So it was 12.8, it's now 17.5. And so we might have, so what it's saying, we should have actually joined them earlier and even pushed higher in our 2-tooth ewes. So back to strategic management, back to 7.5 months, bore it into them in terms of feed, analyze that. A bit more money coming out of the system now. So, and then you can sort of test in your own scenario. So get it all set up, and then maybe just toggle through one of them. So you can sort of draw a bit of a graph out of, and we did this in one of our webinars on this tool. You can sort of graph up what the age of ewe lambs matters, or how age matters in your scenario. So if we go back into strategic management, we can toggle that to 7 months, look at the number, we can then go back in, go to 7.5, analyze, look at the number. We can then go back in, go up to 8, look at the number, so starting to fall. We can then and keep doing that. And if you write those numbers down, you can actually build a bit of an Excel graph of a kind of an optimum curve within your system, which is a pretty cool aspect that we can use this tool for. So we can keep doing that and see that we're back to sort of almost half the value if we're joining them out at what do we put in 9 months versus what we were doing at 7 months. We've dropped a fair bit of coin out of the system. So yeah, fantastic. It's a fantastic tool to really go through those processes, and you can do that across any of these management options. You can set everything the same and then just tweak through what it looks like if you change your one of these options and build those graphs, and sort of and that'll help you understand your system, help you understand the opportunity. Things like, well, is it worth me buying much better reproductive? Is there, if I had really great reproductive potential, how does that set me up for success? And what that shows you straight away is there's more money in it, and you're feeding less supplement, and there's a lot more coin. And I've probably changed a couple of things then, but yeah, these are just an amazing tool to really quickly run through a heap of different scenarios and look at where you reckon where the money's falling out of the system. If you do have any queries on the tool, this is the email address to hit up, tools@mla.com.au. Or the site where you found this tool. There's other videos as well, and yeah, just a reminder that it's obviously doing its best to meet your scenario. We can't mimic everyone's scenarios, and and obviously it is a decision support tool. It's not a complete analysis on your farm, but it's as close as we can get. And what it will show you is that in maternal breeds, often there's money in mating ewe lambs because you're not getting a lot of value out of the wool. If we toggle that to a medium merino and crank up the wool price a bit, and then we have a look with those same scenarios. In this situation, there was plenty of money in it. Sometimes there's not, depending on your system. That is feeding a hell of a lot of feed, and I wonder whether I put something wrong in there. That seems a bit of a strange scenario, but anyway, yeah. So recommend you get in there, have a play. It's spend the time. If you need someone to talk to your advisor around some of these things, how you might achieve some of these things in terms of the nutrition required and that sort of stuff, and jump on that email if you're looking for some feedback or need some questions answered. Just finally, just reiterating, a great collaboration between Murdoch University Farming Systems Analysis Service and NextGen, and funded by your levy funds through Meat and Livestock Australia. That's it for this video. Thanks for your time, and we really hope you get a lot of value out of this decision support tool. It's been a hell of a project to get it, and a really novel project to get the combination of tools coming together, but certainly worthwhile to sit here and be able to toggle through this tool and the kind of things it can do, which is the first of its kind. We're using machine learning combined with economic modelling to build a tool like this. That's it for now. Cheers.